In this video, we are going to see the use of WebinarKit Inside Pabbly Connect. So, I'm going to show you two separate workflows. In the first workflow, we are going to use WebinarKit, which is an auto webinar solution, as a trigger application. Here, every time there's a new registration which happens on WebinarKit, how can you send this information to different platforms like a spreadsheet or a communication channel? In the second workflow, we are going to use this WebinarKit as an action application. So let's say that we have integrated Google Sheets and WebinarKit. So every time information is fed on Google Sheet, how can a new registrant be added on WebinarKit? I'm going to show you this, and to understand this exactly how I'm going to do this, let me take you to my screen. In this video, we are going to see how to integrate WebinarKit with Pabbly. So in this video, we are also going to check how it is going to act as a trigger application and how can we use it as an action application. So first of all, to begin with the process, I'm going to type pabbly.com/connect, and as we click on enter, it will take us to the landing page of this software. Here on the right hand side, you can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. If you are an existing user, simply sign in, and if you are a new user, then you can sign up here by clicking on this tab, and at the time of account creation you will get 100 free tasks. Now since I'm an existing user, I'm simply going to click on sign in, and it has taken me to the all applications page. Since we are doing this integration using Pabbly Connect software, let's click on access now, and now it will take me to the dashboard of this application. Here on the right hand side, you can see the option create workflow. Let's click on this tab, and a dialog box has appeared which is asking us to name this workflow. So I'm going to name it as use WebinarKit Inside Pabbly Connect, and here I'm going to name it as a trigger. Basically, in this workflow that I'm about to explain, here I'm going to use it as a trigger application. So let's click on create. Now a window has appeared in front of us where we can see two very important events, trigger and action. Triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens, and action is do this. Basically, action is the response of your trigger application. So here my trigger application will be WebinarKit. So this is it. Once selected, we have to select the trigger event. So the trigger event would be new webinar registration. Let's click on this. Here you can see that we have received a webhook URL, and this is going to act as a bridge between Pabbly Connect and WebinarKit, basically to connect the two applications. Now there is a process, so we have to follow the following steps. First, we have to log into our WebinarKit account, navigate to our webinar, then we have to edit it, and then we have to go to webhooks and etc. So I'm going to show you exactly how we are going to do this. First of all, let's go to WebinarKit. So this is my WebinarKit. If I take you down, here we have webinar on video marketing. So now I'm going to click on the drop down here and go to edit webinar. Once I'm here you can see this is my webinar where this is the video. If I take you to the details, so here you can see the duration is 1.5 hours. The name is webinar on video marketing. If I take you down, here we have one presenter. Then again here this is the scheduled date. So I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to exactly show you how you have to add a date. So here let's click on add. So here first of all the type. So let's say I'm going to go for a specific day, and this is on 9th of September, or I'm going to change the date. So it is on 10th of September, and then the time is 12 p.m. Here you have to change the time zone. So I'm going to select Asia Kolkata, and we have it here. Yeah. Now I'm going to click on add webinar date. So this is how you can add the webinar. Now let's click on next. So once I'm here, this is the registration page editor. You can always change this as per your wish. And now I'm going to directly take you to other. And here when we scroll down, you have webhooks under email and other integrations. Let's click on the drop down here, and now I'm going to go back to Pabbly Connect and copy this URL and go back to WebinarKit and paste it over here. Right? So once done, let's come down and click on complete. So as soon as we have done that, here you can see that the webinar has been updated. Going back to Pabbly Connect, here we have to now wait for the webhook response. Basically, for this webhook response, first we have to do a test submission so that the data can be recorded here in the webhook response. For this, now I'm going to go back to WebinarKit. Going to our webinar on video marketing, let's click on this and go to get links. Now I'm going to click on this registration link and click on register now. Now here I'm going to select this particular webinar, and now the first name, let's say it is dummy, last name is, let's say, Pabbly123, and the email address is, let's say it is dummy@pabblytudes.com. Now here I'm going to select it for India, and let's say the number is this. Click on register now. As soon as we do that, here it is getting us a message which is thanks for registering for the webinar. Going back to Pabbly Connect, here you can see that we have received the API response. This is how your trigger application WebinarKit works. Now you can connect it with any of the applications you wish. Here I have connected it with Slack application. So Slack is my action application. The event is send channel message. Here I have chosen the channel as webinar details. This is the message that I wish to share with my team. Dear team, we have received. So let me just write have. So here we have received a new webinar registration. Details are this. And then if I go down, and this is the response that I have received after sending it the test request. And now I'm going to take you to my Slack account, and here you can see that we have received the message. This is how you're supposed to use your WebinarKit if it is there in the trigger application. Now I'm again going to take you. So this is another workflow where we are using the trigger application as Google Sheets, and we are using the action application as WebinarKit. So here you can see that I've already selected, first of all, I've connected it with Pabbly Connect, and then I have also captured the response over here. This is the first name, this is the last name, then the email address, mobile number, country, and the country code, and the spreadsheet name. So we have done this process. Now I'm going to choose my action application as WebinarKit. So here the action event would be new webinar registration, and now I'm going to click on connect. Here I'm going to choose the existing connection because I have just set up the connection. Now the webinar ID. So here you have all the webinars, and I'm going to select webinar on video marketing. Now we need to map this data. Mapping basically means that we have already received this data in our previous step. We are just going to retrieve it. So this is the email address, and here we have it. Then the first name. So this is the first name. Then the last name, and here we have the last name. Then the country code. So here the country code is 91. So I'm going to add a plus sign in front. Yeah. So once done, the phone number. So here we have the phone number. Then we have the webinar presentation date. So let's map this data again. We are going to Google Sheets, and here we have the registration date. So once done, here you have to enter the full date. Enter the full date in this format. Example, Wednesday, June 22nd at this ET. So I'm going to just copy this, paste it over here, and then change the date. So let's say it is September, and then here we have the date as 10th at 12 noon. So I'm going to write 12 p.m. and here I'm going to change it as Saturday. So now I'm going to click on save and send test request. So here you can see that the data has been saved successfully. Let's click on this. And here you can see that we have received the response. Now we need to check if this particular user is now a part of our webinar registration. So I'm going to take you to my WebinarKit. Let's go to WebinarKit. Go to our webinar on video marketing, and I'm going to click on this, click on view analytics. And if I come down here, we have these registrations, and this is the new registration that I have just created. So basically this entire workflow is a success. And this is how you are supposed to use WebinarKit if you are using it in Action application. So I hope this is very much clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflows. The 2 workflows are given in the video description. And if you have any suggestion or advice, you can always write to us. I hope this was helpful. To watch more such videos, you can always subscribe to our channel, which is there on YouTube. If you have any queries, you can write to us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you want to know our pricing plans, then you can visit us at this particular site. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe if you have liked this video.